Avenue, Superior, Arizona, Saturday, September 12th from 2026 from 9 a.m. to 2 a.m. and Sunday, September 13th, 2026 from 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. Approval of Town of Superior alcohol permit for Robert Mendoza for a birthday party located at the Magna Club on Saturday, August 15th, 2026 from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Approval of Town of Superior alcohol permit for Brianna Simmons for a wedding at the Vestige Park on Saturday, April 30th, 2027 from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Approval of Superior Multi-Gen Phase 2 electrical proposal for Keller Electrical in the amount of $529,788. This is funded by a CDS through the USDA Rural Development Fund. Approval of the Superior Multi-Gen Phase 3 electrical proposal from Keller Electric in the amount of $372,605. This is funded by a CDS through USDA Rural Development. Approval of an IGA between Pinal County and Town of Superior for animal care and control services. This agreement shall become effective December 1st and remain in effect until the 30th day of June 2028. And approval of our department reports. Council, do we have a motion to approve?
So.
The motion by the Vice Mayor Alonso. Do we have a second? Second by Councilmember Byrd. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. So we're going to move things around on our action agenda. We're going to go to agenda item D, which is discussion and possible selection of preferred alternative from work session action number 4. So for anybody who just walked in, we had a work session. It's our second work session on how we were going to plan our land use for our airport and our airport contiguous properties, which is part of the land exchange, land that we'll be buying from the federal government. So we have all these maps. Council's been studying it, had some hands-on time to be out on the land. So council, at this time, I'm going to ask if you have any more questions. We have our partners here from Elliott Pollock and Kimley Horn, and I think Ioana might still be on the phone. Are there any questions, or does Ioana have anything to add?
I don't believe so, and I don't believe she's still on.
Okay. So with that being said, council, we need any other notes or anything, or want to have some discussion? Yes, we are in a public hearing. So at this time, we can also take any comments from the public on the alternatives. There's alternative 1, which is not very many changes, but does not give us a lot of extra land. There's alternative 2 and alternative 3, which has a little bit of some flip sides to things on where things are moved around. And I just want to caution everybody in the public, this is very long term. None of this happens tomorrow. And, you know, future councils may say, oh, we need to tweak this, and it will be available to kind of move some things around. But we can't start planning or going after grants or funding unless we pick some designation, so that way we can figure out topography and set a strong future for our town for the, you know, for the future. So
at this time, I need for alternative. So I would like to make a motion to.
I'm going to close the public hearing.
Sorry.
Is there anyone in the public who wishes to address the council? Oh, okay, Mr. Yvonne.
Yeah, I'll take myself off call to the public, because I was just going to say thank you to council for the opportunity to work with Rebuild Superior and Elliott Pollock and Associates and Ioana to get this process going. It's been a long time coming. I'm going to take that hat off and then speak as a resident. I also like alternative 3. I think that there's a strange little pocket south of the runway that I would worry about filling. So I see more cohesion if we keep the aerospace stuff to the south of the runway, just on that map. And I like that we're not losing any aircrafts if we're shrinking the runway. That fixes the road access. And then also it opens up that opportunity for some development right along the 60, kind of right where that sign is right now with the bricks. If we're thinking about just visually where those things are. So just as a resident, I like 3.
Thank you very much. So anybody else from the public wishing to address council? Going once, twice. All right, council, there was a motion, but I'm gonna, we're closing the public hearing.
So I move to, select alternative 3 as the.
And there's a motion on the floor by Councilmember Navarrete, seconded by Councilmember Lamb. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And this is a very historic moment. Danny, you all have some more work to do and you can finish up this plan. So thank you very much.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you, resolution for funding these very important studies so we can make a strong future, a strong diversified future. So thank you so much. Now we're going to move on to agenda item C. Is our engineer on the line?
You might have to turn it up.
I don't, it's on, and it all stopped singing.
James, you on the line?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay, we're gonna go on to agenda item C. Okay, agenda item, this is a public hearing, everyone, so public hearing discussion, possible approval of ordinance number 2026-206, an ordinance of the Town Council of the Town of Superior, Pinal County, Arizona, approving a variance from section 13.9 of the Town of Superior zoning code for a fence height increase of 24 inches on a 36-inch opaque fence in an urban residential R1-5 zone district for assessor's parcel number 105-06-018C, also described as 708 West Main Street. And then the recommendation, pass and approve ordinance number 2026-206, ordinance of the Town Council of the Town of Superior, Pinal County, Arizona, approving a variance for a fence height increase of 36 inches from the allowed 72 inches per section 13-9E of the Town of Superior zoning code, totaling 108 inches. So at this time, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this change? This ordinance change?
What property is it?
708 West Main Street.
Kind of catty corner from Porter's,
The old, which property?
next to the Public Works. East side of Public Works.
Not the road. Old property.
It's been purchased, so they're going through some changes. We do have our engineer on the line, so if you'd like to give council a little bit more of an explanation, or we'll keep the public hearing open for anyone who may have commentary.
Hi, this is James Carter with Wheel Van. I'm the acting zoning administrator for this project. I am recommending approval of a fence variance. Yes, it is near the Public Works yard there. Katie, the owner, is directly adjacent to the Public Works yard. I think catty corner is correct. So the reason she is seeking this variance is there's a property behind her that has a manufactured home on it that she'd like to block from view from her future business.
Council, any questions or comments for a zoning administrator or from the public? All right.
Is that the manufactured home that was just moved from her property?
I don't know that we can discuss that. That's not as part of this agenda item, correct, Mr. Cooper?
Mayor, council members, I don't know enough of the background facts to tell what's part, what's not part of it there, but I think the issue we would focus on would be the variance and the reasons for it, and if there are reasons that would allow us to grant a variance.
All right, with that being said, council, last call for public comments on the public hearing. Mr. Cartier.
I guess my question is that, I mean, kind of open this up for anybody else that wants to build a wall because they don't want to see what's on the other side. I think there's a lot of this throughout this whole town. Like I said, I think a lot of people have neighbors that don't want to see their property, so kind of open up a can of worms here because somebody from, I believe, she's out of town, still live here, whether that matters or not, but I know she's buying some property.
James, can you hear the public comments?
I cannot hear the public comment.
Mr. Cartier, I'm gonna have you come to the microphone
I'm sorry.
because our zoning administrator
Okay.
needs to be able to hear you.
So my question is, if you approve this, I think it opens up a can of worms for anybody that doesn't like what they see on their neighbor's property. Maybe they're a little bit higher or, but for any reason that, they can add 3 feet to their wall that isn't really legal. And I think this, I think you gotta be careful about one person wanting to do this, cause, I think it could, continue on to several other people that don't like to see, what's in the neighbor's yard all day long. So, that's all.
Oh, I can now hear you. I think that is a very good point. The nature of variances is that they are not meant to set precedent for other properties. They're supposed to be specific to individual properties. And I do understand the concern that it would set a precedent and end up with a sort of domino effect. But the other issue that I failed to mention is that the neighboring property that adjoins has an easement and damage to buildings and fencing has occurred on this easement. So she's trying to prevent any further damage to her buildings on her property as well. So I did fail to mention that initially. I do apologize.
Question from Councilmember Navarrete.
So what is the property currently being used for? Like it's commercial, is it not? Or is it it can be mixed, residential, commercial?
There is an existing permit application to turn this into a laundromat.
A what, is it again?
A laundromat.
Okay, so it's intended to be commercial, it's not, but she's not building a wall because she's personally gonna live there and doesn't want to see her name. Okay, thank you.
On this exhibit that was submitted to us, it shows here X from the fence line, and it looks like that is actually between her and Public Works, but you said it was to prohibit her from viewing the mobile. Can you clarify that? Because that's the only line that I see here on this exhibit is that it's between her and Public Works and not necessarily the neighboring property.
Todd, I may need to lean on you for this one. I'm not familiar with the layout of that Public Works yard.
It is between, the X line is between Public Works and the property. That seems like an error in the application and in the site plan. So, if this is a significant error, the council could push this back for reconsideration by the administrator to make sure this map is correct. I do believe, I wasn't directly participating in this application, but I did see an email where they requested her to verify this is where she wanted it. And I still think there's an error. So definitely something we should follow up on if it's a problem.
I have a question.
Okay, well, Mr. Duvon has approached the podium, so I'm gonna let him comment and then you can, and we're gonna need you to come up to the microphone because he has nerves.
Yeah, just, I don't have any skin in the game, but I'm a neighbor, so I've had conversations with the new owner, to that. So their building is the boundary of Public Works, on one side, and then there's fencing right behind it that goes straight back. The building that the windstorm knocked over, that was exacerbated because of parking from porters. So I think that she's trying to get her boundaries kind of, ready for their permit application for future, development there. So those are just some conceptual conversations that I had with you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Bravo, you're welcome to approach the podium.
I thought fencing was generally handled by planning and zoning. So why didn't this go to planning and zoning? Is it just a variance to get past planning and
It's
zoning?
already gone through planning and zoning, so it's coming.
No,
to planning.
no, variances do not go to planning and zoning. Variances are, will have to be approved by the council. They cannot be approved by the mayor.
That's true. Well, but fencing is usually done by planning and zoning. So my question is, why a variance to skip planning and zoning?
Mr. Pryor, is that, or Mr. Cooper, would you give us maybe a little bit more of a background so the public's aware?
Mayor, council members, Superior, because of the size and population of Superior, the council acts as the planning and zoning, the Board of Adjustment, not our planning and zoning commission. Planning and zoning commission usually handles matters that deal with, conditional use, special use permits, zoning issues that are there. Fencing is generally, fence heights are generally a part of zoning that are there, but the zoning ordinance does not have the leeway to basically adjust these heights that are there. So that is usually something that's an adjustment, which goes to the Board of Adjustment because it's an adjustment to the zoning code. And that's really what the distinction is here. Like I said, I was not involved in this, but certainly this is not, I don't see this as an end run to avoid the Planning and Zoning Commission because we put a lot of effort and a lot of work in the things that they do. And you take a lot of stock in there, but I don't believe that the Planning and Zoning Commission will have the authority to regulate fence heights, given the fact that the zoning ordinance specifically sets the limits that are there. And they don't have that extra jurisdiction to give them an additional one, so it would have to come in the form of by an action of the Board of Adjustment.
Thank you very much. We don't do these very often, so sometimes we need a little refresher on all the processes. But at this time of the last call for any types of public comments on this particular variance issue. Hearing none, I'm going to close the public hearing and move forward to council discussion. Council, what's your pleasure on this?
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-206.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to approve the ordinance. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Lamb. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Okay, so we have to do a roll call vote. Councilmember Lamb.
Yes.
Councilmember Byrd.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Alonso.
Yes.
Councilmember Navarrete. And I'm actually a nay. I would prefer to table this at this time.
Agreed.
But we've made a motion and a second. So I don't know if they can request for this to come back.
The zoning administrator will work with the customer to make sure that we're giving her best service and to bring her back if it can be corrected and approved.
I would prefer that.
Yeah.
I think we weren't clear on exactly, I don't think we were sold on where she wants the fence.
Yeah, I think because what the map is what made me not like this. Because we can't tell. I mean, the fence is the fence in a lot of ways, but we need to be able to clear that out. So for the clerk, did you get the actions?
Yes.
Mayor, council members, I just want to make sure I understand your action. It was a denial, but the council comments do not preclude them to come back to you for a reconsideration
Yes.
when you get that additional information to determine, where the fence is going to be, where the height is going to be, and addressing concerns that were raised by the council and comments publicly.
Yes. We just need further clarification, so. All right, we're going back to agenda item A now. Back on track. Beautiful. All right, agenda item A, public hearing, discussion, possible approval of resolution number 2026-707, a resolution of the town council of the town of Superior, Pinal County, adopting the fiscal year 2026-27 final budget. Staff recommends approving this resolution and discussion. This adopts the final budget discussed in the work session of April 9th, 2026. The tentative budget was approved at the May 14th, 2026 regular council meeting. And I'm going to open the public hearing at this time so we can take any comments from the public on the budget. And just for everyone who's here, we've had 2 different work sessions on the budget. We're at the point that this is our final approval, so we can't make any changes. We're in a very thorough process, and I want to, in this point of comment, to thank our staff. When we started putting the budget together, it wasn't looking pretty good. It wasn't looking great. We had a lot of lost revenues because of other decisions at the legislature and Santan Valley's incorporation. And everybody worked really, really hard to shore up some budget, to find some other revenue resources and, do some additional policies. So thank you, staff. With that being said, is there any last call for public comments on the budget? Council, any further question or comment on the budget? Hearing none. We have a motion to approve the resolution number 2026-707. The motion by Councilmember Byrd. Do we have a second? Second. Second by Councilmember Navarrete. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We're going to go to agenda item B, discussion approval of resolution number 2026-708. A resolution of the mayor and town council of the town of Superior, Pinal County, Arizona, authorizing an application to the Arizona Smart Fund for design and other engineering services pursuant to Title 28, Chapter 2, Article 2, Arizona Revised Statutes. And this is for which grant, Todd? Because I don't have my papers are all.
This grant will create a federally compliant set of plans to reconstruct Panther and Sunset. The damage, of course, created by the ADOT project means that we're going to try to get this funded through ADOT fund transfers. In order to do that, to do a HERF transfer, the plans have to be federally compliant. So this would apply for a TA grant. If you're familiar with the sidewalks on Panther, that was the similar process. You get a TA grant, you get the design, immediately follow it up with another grant to do the construction. The construction on the sidewalks should start, it should be awarded in August, and then they should start mobilization conversations to do the sidewalks. So it'd be really nice to get the road repaved in a similar timeline.
So this is mostly housekeeping, so we can get in the process to go after the funding to fix Panther and Sunset. All right, council, do we have any further questions or comments on this? Do we have a motion to approve? Motion by the Vice Mayor Alonso. Do we have a second? Second by Councilmember Byrd. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We're going to go back to agenda item E, and this is some big news for us. Discussion possible authorization for the town manager to sign the agreements for lease services with the Department of Fire and Forestry Management. And we did get the lease agreement late today. We moved around so many things today. So again, this is, Todd, we're good to approve the lease now?
Well, I'm asking for the council's approval for me to sign it when the documents are ready and when Mr. Cooper says that they are ready and appropriate. There's a service agreement that's being drafted by the State Attorney General's office to get us the service agreement that provides for DFFM during the off season to clear our 50 acres of fire breaks in the town as an in-kind service for the rental of this building. So we don't want to sign them separately. We want to sign them together. So that's why I'm not asking to sign them tonight. I would prefer to wait to have the complete set. And Mr. Cooper can approve it, make sure that it's appropriate, and then we can sign them.
And you're just asking so we can get it signed immediately when it comes in?
Yes, they would like to move in July, and we don't have another council meeting before they want to move in. So I have shared with the council all the terms that are in the agreements and the lease agreement. The only piece left is the service agreement, and that has been approved directly by Mr. Torres, the state forester. They're just drafting the agreement.
And just for the public, this is a really big win for Superior. The Department of Fire and Forestry Management is relocating one of their regional locations to Superior into this complex, this campus. And this is a big deal for us because it's gonna have 5 new employees here in town that'll be working here year round. But during fire season, they'll have crews stationed here, which means if we have some forest fires or that type of fire activity, we'll have some backup here for our local fire department. But also their maintenance of our fire breaks will save us about $100,000 a year, which is a huge savings to us and a great partnership. And, you know, we know how dangerous wildfire management is. And I want to credit the vice mayor because he received the first phone call on this potential opportunity, and he called me and I called the guy who told me to call, and then we called Todd. And I think, you know, within 48 hours, Todd was on it and working on this lease agreement. And this was probably maybe 7 or 8 weeks ago that this all happened. And so thank you to DFFM and our staff for taking advantage of this opportunity. They're leaving Apache Junction and coming to Superior. So this is a big deal. Council, any further questions or comments on this?
I do. I have a couple of questions, and I'm excited because I do think it's a win-win. My first question is, the lease is 5 years.
Yeah.
So is there any possibility that we're gonna wanna be out of here before 5 years? And if we do, what happens?
We will very likely be out of here within 5 years. They have really expressed interest in expanding to take over the space we vacate. They would like to stay in this building. We have, I think, 4 or 5 nonprofits operating out of here now, providing services for our community. So there's, you know, with the current market conditions, I don't see an immediate demand for us to change the use of the building. I think we're providing a positive use for the community. So leaving them here, I think, is in our best interest. 5-year period is for government work. That's not a long time.
Thank you. And I have one more question. So in the lease agreement, I did see, you know, that they're going to be able to utilize the parking lot for their larger equipment. Have they indicated how often that would be here, or is that going to be here year round as long as somebody's here?
So they're going to have 2 C-train containers next to the existing C-train container out there. We used to have 2 out there. We removed one. The one left out there is the fire department's right now. It has some of their storage in it. They will put 2 cash containers out there. They'll also have 2 engines, perhaps 4 trucks, command trucks here. And during the season, those are severity patrol trucks too. So they will be patrolling the region and then coming back. This will be their base. They're not going to be here overnight. So, but this will be their base station.
Okay. Yeah, I'm only asking because when I saw that, I thought, okay, is that going to affect, you know, the kids use the field for baseball?
And we did address it with them. That's not a problem. There's plenty of parking on our end. I did put a caveat that we're not responsible for Brooklyn and Field.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we had a motion and a second already on this? No. Okay. All right. Do we have a motion? So Councilmember Navarrete makes the motion to approve. Do we have a second? Second by Vice Mayor Alonso. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. We're going to go on to agenda item F, discussion possible approval of Mountain States Legal Foundation to draft an amicus brief concerning Apache Stronghold versus U.S. et al. Case number 25-5185, Arizona Mining Reform Coalition versus United States Forest Service and Resolution Copper Mining 9th Circuit of Court of Appeals. Case number 25-5189, San Carlos Apache Tribe versus United States Forest Service and Resolution Copper Mining 9th Circuit Court of Appeals. And council, this is coming back to us. We approved an original amicus back in September to take forward when the Ninth Circuit, put another hold on the resolution proper land exchange and record of decision. And despite the record of decision and, the land exchange being approved by the United States government on March 16th, there are again the same plaintiffs, I guess you could say, coming in and filing another case to end the record of decision and going back and trying to fight this. Well, our attorneys, what Mountain States, they have asked us to file again another amicus brief, and we believe that the town of Miami, the town of Kearney will be following suit, and the mayor of Hayden is signing on as a personal mayor once again. This has kind of been a standard practice for us to make sure that our story is told when the Ninth Circuit judges hear this. And we don't know if they'll actually pick this case up, but they are requesting a full en banc hearing of the entire Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals to rehear this. So it's kind of a regurgitation of previous cases. So this is our opportunity that our voice is at least heard on when they continue to stall these things, what it means for our local economy and our local community. Mr. Pryor, did I capture all of that okay?
Yes, you did. I just wanted to highlight this is a nonprofit legal foundation. They do charge us a fee, but it's a very nominal fee. It's $2,000 to write the letter for us.
Need a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
The motion by Vice Mayor Alonso, we have a second. Second by Councilmember Navarrete, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. At this time, I am going to adjourn our current work, our regular meeting. And then we're going to call to order at 7:41, the meeting of the Town of Superior Municipal Property Corporation. All right. So call to order, 7:41, roll call. Councilmember Navarrete.
Here.
Councilmember Lamb.
Here.
Councilmember Byrd. Here. Vice Mayor Alonso.
Here.
And I am present. Please let the record know that we do have a quorum. Councilmember Aguilar and Councilmember Tomlin are excused. New business. A, consideration and possible approval of a loan of $2,803,000 and a grant of $3,050 with the United States Department of Agriculture Rural Development, USDA RD, for wastewater system improvements. Approval includes approval of the following agreements. Approval of resolution loan security agreement 1780-28 in the amount of $2,803 payable over 40 years with interest of 2.875 to meet all conditions of the loan and the grant. And number two, approved water and wastewater system grant agreement 1780-12 in the amount of $5,883, of which the Municipal Property Corporation agrees to finance no more than $2,803 of the loan amount. So do we approve A and B, or do we just, can I just do one motion?
I would do them separately.
Okay. So, Councilmember, do we have a motion to approve agenda A1 or AI? There's a motion on the floor by Councilmember Navarrete. Do we have a second?
Second.
There's a second by Councilmember Byrd. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Now we're gonna need a motion to approve A2. And that's the approval of the wastewater system agreement. Nick, motion. I want to repeat it again.
Make a motion to approve item number A2.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Byrd. All in favor? Aye. Okay, now we're gonna go back to agenda item B, authorizing members of the Municipal Property Corporation to enter into loan and grant agreements with USDA RD and to sign all necessary documents for the loan and grant, which includes the following. Request for obligation of funds, Form 1940-1, the loan amount of $320,000 with interest rate of 2.875%. And again, two, request for obligation of funds, Form 1940-1, and the grant amount of $200,000. So that is, we have a motion to approve agenda item B1. The motion by Councilmember Byrd, with a second. Second by Councilmember Navarrete. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, can we get approval or a motion to approve agenda item 2 or B2, request for obligation of funds. I have a motion by Councilmember Byrd. We have a second. Second by Councilmember Navarrete. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? I want to check out Ruby, our clerk, because we're moving pretty fast. Are you good, Ruby? Okay. And C, authorize chairman to sign on behalf of the Municipal Property Corporation to sign all documents necessary to acquire the loan and grants listed above. We have a motion to approve. There's a motion by Vice Mayor Alonso. We have a second. Second by Councilmember Lant. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Before we adjourn for everybody here, this is all a functionary of our government or Municipal Property Corporation handles all of these big grants and loans that we get to improve community infrastructure. So this is a very important job. It means we're coming to the end of the improvements of our wastewater treatment plant, which deserves its own long, long story. And with that, do we have a motion to adjourn the Municipal Property Corporation? Motion by Councilmember Burr. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Lamb. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We adjourned this meeting at 7:45. We're now returning back to regular open session. Mr. Cooper, is there anyone on call to the public?
Just one sign in, Mr. Guzman.
Okay. Mr. Guzman, you have anything to add? Does anyone else from the public wish to address the council on call to the public? You have 3 minutes and 3 minutes only. Going once? Going twice? All right. No call to the public. We are not going into executive session tonight. Back into our regular session summary of current events. I'm going to start with you, Councilmember Lamb.
All right.
Councilmember Byrd.
Just want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. We won't see you before then. And thank you to Resolution Copper for donating the money for the fireworks show that will be on the 4th of July this year.
Thank you. Councilmember Navarrete. Vice Mayor Alonso.
I just want to thank all you guys here for participating in the public hearing and asking great questions and holding us accountable. I think this is the most interaction we've had in a public hearing for a long time, so thank you guys for coming. We touched on a few things throughout this agenda where we talked about grant funding, it's our hydrants. Between our hydrants, our fire truck, the electrical phases that we're doing at the multi-gen center, that's all grant money that had to be lobbied for. And, we focus on local government here, but when you look at how we have to go out and chase that funding, a lot of people on this council have visited congressional places up in DC. They visited other states to go try to get this funding for us. So the return on investment for those trips for what we're putting back in our community is huge. And I want to thank our council, especially our mayor and our town manager, for facilitating all of this and getting us to where we need to be so we can provide the service to the town members. Also, Mayor, congratulations on your Rural Hero Award. That's huge. That brings a lot of focus to our town. People want to know what Superior doing, and we become the benchmark for a lot of communities, either our size or communities that are trying to do things that we're doing. And it attracts businesses to our town. People love it here. They want to be here. And I just want to thank everyone. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. And again, we have a really great team. Very proud of all the work that we've done. And it's hard to believe that we're looking back at what's been a decade of progress for most of us here on this council. And I'm really proud of all of those accomplishments. And we have a lot more to do. And we're getting ready to announce the big plans for State of the Town this year. We're going to be celebrating our 50th anniversary of incorporation. So that's coming up. The date will be officially launched soon. And we have some really fun things that we're planning. So excited about that. Everyone have a good 4th of July. Our youth council is planning.
One more thing, sorry. We're not having the July meeting, but there is an election in July 21st, Tuesday. Please go out and vote. Thank you.
Thank you. But 4th of July we're really looking forward to it. We've had a lot of groups come together to support our youth council. that is two of the activities that we have in, their youth council plans, is our 4th of July and Halloween. So we're really proud they're having some big exciting things, so participate, everybody stay cool, and Vice Mayor, we do have a meeting in July. It's usually in August that we cancel, but, because,
Oh, I will be there.
okay. But, again, we have really great camaraderie, and we're very fortunate to have that on our council. Not every community has the camaraderie that we have, and I appreciate that, but, and we might not be able to cancel our August meeting this year because we have so much business coming up. So, we're working on that to try to make sure staff gets a break, throughout the year. So with that being said, Todd, do you have anything else to add, Mr. Pryor? All right, hearing none, scheduling of meetings and events, June 18th, 2026, 6 p.m. Emergency Services Committee. Community Development Committee will meet on June 25th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Planning and Zoning Committee will meet on July 2nd, 2026, 6 p.m. And our Town Council meeting will be July 9th, 2026. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilmember Burt, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Lamb, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries, and we adjourn at 7:50. There was a lot of things on there.
Quick question,
And I
Todd.
was like,